Assalamualaikum. Hi to our lecturer Sir Aizat and our fellow friends. Today, my group will present about the speed and agility training. Okay, first I will introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Faisal Aziz and my group member is Nazrul Imran, Izzat Akil, Irfan Kamal and Irfan Halim. Okay, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Faisal Aziz. Okay, for the first slide is what is a speed? Speed is a skill to reach the high movement velocity. Speed can be measured in 3 units, which are kilometer per hour, meter per second, and miles per hour. Okay, speed is a scale quantity because it have a magnitude but no direction. Okay, speed is about how fast the object moving. Okay, for example, this format from the 1 point to the P point. Okay, you can see how fast it travel. Is called speed. Okay, speed is one of the main fitness component in the sport. Okay, we move to the next slide. What is running speed? Okay, running speed is a combination of flight and support phase known as a stride. Okay, this is what we call a stride when we running. Okay, next is running speed is maximum effort. Rapid and unpaced running for the 50 second or below than that. Okay, stride length and stride frequency is related because when we increase the stride length, okay, this is short stride, okay, this is long stride. Okay, you can see when the stride length is increased, so we can increase the running speed. Okay, for the stride frequency, okay, the faster you stride during the running, so the running speed can increase. Okay, during the running, the application of the force is related because when we running, we step at the ground. The harder you step the ground, so you can give the more force, so the more force can increase the running speed. Okay, this is a example of the running speed. Okay, this is video about the 100-meter sprinting event. The winner is Usain Bolt. As you can know, Usain Bolt is the fastest man and the world record for this event. Okay, from the start point, you can see all the runner have a similar start, but after the 10 meter of the running, you can see the Usain Bolt is more faster because he have a stride frequency and he have more stride frequency and more stride length compared to the other runners. Okay, you can see the difference between Usain Bolt and the second runners. The second runners have a stride frequency, but the stride length between the Usain Bolt and the second runner is different. You can see Usain Bolt stride length is more further compared to the second runner because Usain Bolt is a tall man. Maybe he have this factor is maybe affect of his running.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Muhammad Izzakil bin Muhammad Tuah. Before that, thank you my friend Faisal Haziq. Next, we move to the sprinting technique guideline slide. It involves 3 phase. The first phase is starting phase, the second one is acceleration phase, and the third one is maximum velocity phase. Okay, for the starting phase, lower leg angle. Front lower angle produce 90 degree and rear lower angle produce 133 degree. Next, the aggression extension with both of right and left leg. Goal should be to generate height horizontal through a maximal extension against the block, or to produce more force. During the start clearance, which is 0.28 seconds, the leg combined will produce 905 Newton, and in order to overcome the static starting position, the sprinter must rely on the production of vertical force to support our body weight. Next, the start clearance occur when once the leg is set in the front block of position near extension of our knee joint. The exit angle of front lower leg extension is 160 degree, and for the optimal length of touchdown of a step is 0.5 mm from the starting line. For the elite male sprinter, usually they can reach 5 meter per second of their initial starting velocity. Next, we move to the second phase, which is the acceleration phase. For the initial step, during the start clearance and initial steps, the recovery swings leg should be low to the ground, where the toes barely off the ground. The stride rate during the second step is different between elite male sprinter and novice male sprinter. For the elite is 5.26 steps per second, and for the novice 3.45 steps per second. For the stride length during the first two steps of block clearance, it also different. For the elite male sprinter, they produce 1.13 meter to 1.1 meter, and for the novice, they produce 1.21 meter to 1.50 meter. For the stride, basically is shorter for the elite male sprinter due to the need for the less flight time. Elite and novice male sprinter also produce different average ground time during the second step of the starting clearance. For the elite is 0.123 seconds, and for the novice 0.233 seconds. Next, we move to the last phase, which is the maximum velocity phase. For the horizontal velocity, usually elite male sprinter attain 12.55 meter per second compared to novice, which is 11.25 meter per second. At maximum velocity, the top sprinter usually display higher stride rate. The stride rate during this phase for the elite is 4.63 steps per second, and for the novice is 4.43 steps per second. For the stride length during the maximum velocity phase, it also different between the elite and novice male sprinter. The elite produce 2.70 meter per stride compared to novice, which is 2.56 meter per stride. The last one is ground contact time during this phase, or during the maximum velocity phase. For the elite male sprinter, they produce 0.087 second, and for the novice 0.101 seconds. In addition, we move to the slide of methods of developing speed. It involves three ways. The first way is sprinting, The second one is strength, and the third one is mobility. For the sprinting, the generation of height force in short period of time. It shows how muscle fiber length and velocities affect muscle force generation as humans walk or run at different speed. For the neurological adaptation resulting from the long-term training plan, the magnitude of this adaptation depend on the type of exercise or the frequency, which is the low, medium, or high intensity. And the third one is plyometric movement, which is the exercise that involve jumping or explosive movement. For example, skipping, jumping rope, and clapping push-up. Next way is strength. The first one is weight training, such as standing barbell curl or hammer curl. The weight training develop strength qualities from weight room training to the track. Basically, it using the load such as dumbbell or barbell. Next, the degree of performance adaptation similarities between the movement pattern, the peak force, and the velocity pattern. And the last one is maximal strength training, which define the ability to exert force upon an external object. This attribute is typically measured by one repetition max on barbell based exercise such as squat or press. The last one is mobility. The first one is stretching, the second one is chiropractic care, and third one is massage. The last one is myofascial release. Myofascial release defined as safe and very effective hands-on technique that involve applying sustained pressure into the myofascial connective tissue restriction to eliminate the pain and restore motion. For the mobility, it will achieve optimal mobility within the dynamic state.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Nazrul Imran. Okay, I would like to continue with my part, which is the introduction of agility. Okay, before I begin with my subtopic, firstly I would like to explain about perceptual cognitive ability, because this term is recently and most often used in this subtopic, which is the agility. Okay, I would like to all of you to understand first. Okay, perceptual cognitive ability have been identified as the ability to process environmental information with your own knowledge and motor capabilities. It is to select and execute the most suitable action. Okay, meaning that perceptual cognitive ability is like your knowledge and your experience to use and react to the most suitable action you need to do in critical thinking. Okay, I would like to proceed with the first slide on agility, which is what is agility. I will explain the point one by one. Okay, the first point is the definition. The definition is a skill related component of physical fitness that relates to ability to rapidly change the position of entire body of an athlete in space with speed and accuracy. Okay, agility is one of the skill related fitness component. There are 6 of it, which is agility, speed, power, balance, coordination, and reaction time. Okay, the second point is the term. Skill and abilities needed to change direction, velocities, or mood in response to stimulus, meaning that it is your athlete skill based on what they have trained and how fast they react with the most suitable action on the situation. Okay, the third one is the important aspect. 3 important aspects of physical performance needed by athlete, which is speed, change of direction, and agility. It relates with the 4th point, which is the component of agility, which is physical capacity of an athlete to change direction, relate with perceptual cognitive to influence physical demands. Okay, meaning that it is your athlete development to train and meet their biomechanical demands and use their perceptual cognitive with the most suitable action. Okay, the 5th point is the agility performance is considered a function of athlete ability not only to change direction but aware of the situation and response to stimulus. Okay, the last one is the strength and conditioning professional must be aware of their training choices that suits the condition of their athlete. Okay, basically is your trainer must be aware of what type of sport do you join and what type of training you need to do to improve your agility and your perceptual cognitive ability to the next level. We'll continue with the next slide, which is the agility performance and change of direction ability. Okay, the first point is in both field and court sport, there are many pre-planned change of direction in response to the ball games or opponent. For example, in sports such as baseball, softball, and basketball, athletes need to decide the path they will run and make decision faster. Okay, as I mentioned before, perceptual cognitive ability is the most often and recently used in agility, meaning that they need to improve their perceptual cognitive ability trained by your professional strength and conditioning. Okay, next point is this response can occur in defensive and offensive scenario, and physical movement and perceptual cognitive aspect must meet the demand of the athlete performance. Okay, your trainer must be aware that your sport have the strategies of attacking. Okay, in the attacking way, you need to use this kind of movement. In the defensive way, you need to use another kind of defensive another kind of movement. So you need the ability to think in both ways. Okay, the next point is the athlete can improve change of direction performance through development of physical factors and technical skills. Developmental of agility also can be improved by perceptual cognitive ability to meet the demand of the sport. And the last one, athlete must fully understand the factors related with agility performance from a physical standpoint. Okay, before you start the training of your agility, you need to understand first your ability to think in a critical situation. That is the most important thing in agility. Okay, that's all from me. I would like to proceed with the next slide.
Assalamualaikum. So I will continue the presentation. I will talk about the technical guidelines for change of direction and agility. So first of all, there is 4 points in this slide, which is visual focus, body position during braking and reacceleration, leg action, and the last one is arm action. So I will explain one by one in this slide. So the first one is visual focus. So shoulder, trunk, and hips are important role because when changing direction in response to an opponent, either offensive or defensive, the athlete should focus on this part. Okay, for the second point is body position during braking and reacceleration. So in this point, the athlete need to control the trunk leading into the deceleration, because it will decrease the large amount of trunk motion. So the second point is reorient, which means change the focus or direction. So reorient the trunk and hips toward the direction of intended travel to give more effective reacceleration. The third point is leg action. So the athlete need to emphasize pushing the ground away in order to enhance performance, especially while learning in close drill. Besides, ensure the athlete can dissipate the eccentric braking load through an effective ROM at the knee and avoid stiff leg braking style. So the last one is arm action. So in this part, powerful arm action, it will support the change of the movement or the direction of the body. The next point is arm action will give more acceleration and support the movement of the athlete. Now I will explain about the methods of developing agility. So there is three main points in this slide, which is strength, change of direction ability, and the last one is perceptual cognitive ability. So for the strength development for agility should emphasize relative strength and a variety of speed strength qualities along the force velocity spectrum. So for the example given, to train the strength is squat jump, counter movement jumps, and the last one is drop jumps. So for the second main point is change of direction ability. The drill and the progress change of direction ability are from three levels, which is beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So for the last one is perceptual cognitive ability. This point is focused on improving anticipation, decision making time and accuracy. Besides, agility activities should begin by adding a perceptual cognitive component to common close skill change of direction drills. For examples, activity is Z drills. So after this slide, I will show you the developing agility and the change of movements of football player, which is Lionel Messi.
Welcome, it's Raj from 3CB. Lionel Messi's change of direction ability is unheralded, routinely leaving defenders grasping at straws. Physically, there's one key ingredient underlying it, his ability to seamlessly rotate and flip his hips. Let's detail the three key pieces. The first piece is Messi's hip mobility, showcased brilliantly on this play. He fluidly abducts his right hip while rotating the left hip and leg to nudge the ball past the defender. He gets back on the ball and another seamless rotation of the hips to bypass another defender. This is where things get really good. As the next defender approaches, Messi immediately sinks into his right hip flexion while turning that left hip into an elite level of internal rotation. Another one bites the dust, and then he externally outwardly rotates the right hip and leg to beat the fourth and final defender. Just superb hip mobility. The second piece is Messi's hip strength and stability, which is all about force reduction and production, a combination of eccentric and concentric muscle strength. As Messi begins his attack, there's a right to left shift in which he quickly decreases speed, force reduction, increases force production, and then decreases again, all the while rotating at the trunk and hips. This requires great hip stability and strength. As the next defender comes in, Messi quickly rotates and pushes off, hip extension with the left hip. Lastly, he lunges forward with powerful extension from the right hip to get a touch on the ball, absorbs and reduces shock with the left hip while turning, and then powerful right hip extension and rotation to accelerate into a sprint, and is taken down for the penalty kick. Simply elite hip stability and strength throughout the range of motion. The third and final piece is neuromuscular control. This is the unconscious link between the nervous system and muscles that facilitates joint stability and movement efficiency by putting the body in its optimal position and coordinating muscle activation timing and sequencing. I picked this play because it shows multiple variables. First, Messi immaculately rotates and flips his hips while in midair, is instantly out of the pocket to beat the defender, and then another controlled feint and turn of the hips to beat the next defender. His neuromuscular system is in hyperdrive here, and he makes it look so easy. Messi, what an honor to study him.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Irfan Begam Azman. I will proceed to the program design training for the speed and agility. The function of a program design to increase our motivation to perform a skill because our mental and physical will be prepared before the tournament. Other than that, by training, we will be our skill will be improved to gain a more skill from the training. The program design involves a 3-level with several levels such as a microcycle for the short term, mesocycle and medium term, and the macrocycle for the long term. The process is preferred by S2 as a periodization. Periodization is a strategic manipulation of an athletic preparedness through the employment of the sequence training phase defined by cycles and a stage of workload. And the athlete progress through a training phase consistent information acquired through the various monitoring strategies to help the show on how the athlete is responding to the stimulus in the short term and how the athlete will be developed in. Okay, we proceed to the next slide. Is a program design for the speed training. This is a training based on the FITT according to SCSM. FITT, which means is a frequency, intensity, type of exercise, and time. The specific of training, which is a warm-up, technical drills, speed training, strength and power. The frequency for the speed training is 2 or 3 times per week based on the exercise, and the intensity for the speed training is a high intensity which is 100%, and the type of exercise such as marches, switch, skip, flying sprint, sled pull, push up, squat, lunges, and drop jumps. For the times for the speed, which is 5 to 20 seconds per set, which is we can do 3 sets. Okay, we proceed to the speed training for the drills, such as air skip drills, commonly used to stimulate upright sprinting, mechanic and vertical force production. The procedure is begin the exercise in a tall stance with a torso above the hips, knees and ankles. Initiate movement by lifting the leg to the bend and knee position. Next, Begin the first skips by aggressively driving the leg slow down to the ground, and the last one is complete the aggressive drive down of the swing leg through the forefoot until the near triple extension of the new stance leg occurs. Okay, next we go to the next drill is fast feet drills. Usually these drills are using by a sprinter to enhance the stride frequency. The procedure is athlete moves by lifting one leg to a bend knee position, swing a leg with the foot approximately at the halfway point, quick and aggressive trying down the swing leg, and should be complete through the forefoot to ensure the feet not rise. Lastly, the athlete should move at the same rate as the legs with minimal to no pausing of the arm action between the cycles. Okay, we proceed to the next slide, which is a program designed for agility training, same as the speed training, which is based on the FITT, frequency, intensity, type of exercise, and time, according to the SSM, which is training specific of training such as warm-up, technical drills, and agility training. The frequency for the training is 3 or 4 times per week, and the intensity for the agility training is 80 to 100%, and the type of exercise is such as forward running, lateral running, side to side drill, shuttle run, cone drill, and jump box. The time for the exercise is 30 minutes, 8 to 20 seconds, 3 sets, based on the exercise. Okay, we proceed to the agility drills, which is Z drills. The function of the drill to increase our change level direction to develop proficiency in the patterns of the side shuffling. Okay, the procedure is begin the exercise by starting at the first cone in athlete with a ready position. The athlete should plant near the cone and rapidly transition into a sprint toward the cone located on the diagonal with Z drills. Okay, we proceed to the last drill for the agility training, which is shuttle runs. The shuttle runs is the function of the shuttle run. Inject some high intensity training into a basic condition program. The procedure is set training with 2 marker, sprint one to other marker with explosive speed, forward run, or the shuttle run we can do by a forward run or the side to side run. The intensity for the shuttle run is high